Obama has hailed another month of job growth and says the US economy is getting stronger. Latest figures show more than 220,000 new jobs were created in February. The president had been touring a Rolls-Royce plant which makes components for jet engines on a trip to the key election swing state of Virginia.
The key now, our job now, is to keep this economic engine churning. We can't go back to the same policies that got us into this mess. We can't go back to an economy that was weakened by outsourcing and bad debt and phony financial profits. We've got to have an economy that's built to last. And that starts with American manufacturing. It starts with you.
Let's get a bit more on this. We'll go to Washington and speak to Mark Bloomfield, who is economist and CEO of the American Council for Capital Formation. I suppose what's convincing about these numbers is not just the one-off. It's part of a growing trend, isn't it, or a continuing trend of jobs growth?
Perhaps. I think the best explanation is Ben Bernanke's, where he says the job market is far from normal. And I think that has economic implications and political implications. Far from normal.
So what do you mean by far from normal? Can you expand on that?
I say far from normal because unemployment isn't down. It's still 8.3. Yes, we created some jobs, but just to make up for the increase in population. We are not decreasing our unemployment. We still have 23.5 million people who are unemployed or underemployed. Yes, the economy is growing, but these job numbers are not going to get us back to where we want to be. That's the economic part.
It's part of a lot of other numbers which seem to show a gradually improving economy in terms of manufacturing, service sector. Bits and pieces are coming together in a way they simply weren't doing, say, 4 or 5 months ago.
Bits and pieces may be coming together, but remember we are facing higher energy prices. Remember we're facing a weak Europe. Remember we're facing a weak China. Remember we're facing a structural problem with the U.S. economy. So yes, it's tepid. And that's why I like Ben Bernanke's phrase, far from normal. Normal being a growing, healthy economy. It's
interesting also, one of the other things that Ben Bernanke said was that he was going to take a balanced approach to the idea of jobs and inflation. Jobs, obviously, everybody wants jobs, more jobs in the economy. Inflation, it seems, people are suggesting that perhaps he's just going to let inflation go a little bit, maybe a lot.
Well, he might. I think the key factor is perhaps economic policy is on hold until the election. A lot of people do not realize that between the election and January 1, the U.S. economy is going to face 3 tremendous shocks. All the big tax cuts are going to expire, so we're obviously going to have a big tax increase. We're going to have across-the-board spending cuts. We're going to have to deal with our debt problem. So I think what is happening, economic policy may be on hold. And when I was talking about the political implications, the smartest thing a president can do is have the business cycle turn on his election prospects. And I think that there's so many unknowns now that politically, I think the election is going to be far from normal in terms of the president claiming credit for what he did or being blamed for what he did not.
Yes, just on the election, do you feel that the economy is in good enough shape? I know, obviously, you have serious doubts about that, but do you think it's in a good enough shape to play to Mr. Obama's advantage?
Oh, no, I think it's all up in the air. I think it's all up in the air because it's still 8.3% unemployment. I think it's all up in the air because the winds that are facing us, high gasoline prices, that's going to be a big issue. Europe, or let's go outside economics. How about a war in the Middle East? No, I think it's far from certain that the economy is going to be smooth as we face the upcoming election.
Okay, Mark Bloomfield, thank you very much indeed for joining us.
The British and Italian